Um, Fantastic. Now we're officially on record. So scan the QR code to download your workbook for today's session, or you can also go to agent.kw.com, which is command, and then go into the connect section. You can find all of your workbooks for any of the KWU courses, including this one here. So let's just dive right in. Okay, so the goal of Breakthrough is to have 10 real estate conversations 5 days a week for the next 120 days to set you up to net 9 agreements. Okay, so part one of this series, our foundation, we started off with database, then we moved over to lead follow-up. We did buyer and seller appointments. Yesterday, actually, was open houses, and today we end with social media. Here is Breakthrough Club. Breakthrough Club is every single day from 9 a.m. to 12. So just make sure you're jumping on that link, kwbreakthroughclub.com, as much as you can, Monday through Friday. It is basically cameras on, you're muted, making phone calls, doing your lead gen, texting, all the things, just together in more of like a fun, supportive environment, I guess. Midday protocol every single day, live on Zoom at 12 o'clock to talk about tracking your numbers, tracking your business, all that good stuff, as well as a little bit of accountability and reporting your numbers to everybody. Okay, so session 5, social media. Like I said, we're going to be talking about implementing the social media engagement plan, applying the like model to create content to post on your social media, and also to understand how to use social media paid ads. Progress report, number of contacts added to your database this week. Does anyone have a number to report or would like to share? No pressure, if not. Or anyone else want to share compliant calls that you made or even conversations that you had or just general what's going on in your business? What happened this week? Any wins?
I'd say like I don't know, overall contacts added. I think I'm at like 20 this week, and
Awesome.
like conversations. This is all just midday protocol stuff, but
Yep.
um, since midday protocol, or I don't think we had it yesterday, but I think I'm at 15 conversations since yesterday afternoon. So
Awesome. Amazing. And the contacts added to your database, how did you go about, I guess, finding these people? Where did they come from?
they're either open house people who have
I
given us
love it.
contact permission to contact them, other agents, people off social media, and then just updating um, updating other contacts that I have that need to be refreshed with email or phone.
Awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Mindset moment. So look at the fears. I know that we talk about our fears a lot in this series and everything. And there was a section, that we actually wrote down what our fears are and what our limiting beliefs were and everything. Have any of you had any new fears come up? Anything that surrounding maybe the social media space that you are fearful of or hesitant about posting on social media? I know just generally speaking, a lot of us are very hesitant to post on social media because of the fear of, judgment from our peers. Like, ugh, I don't want to come across as like a influencer. Let's call it that. Dominic, go ahead. What do you got?
I unfortunately have ran into some copyright issues.
Oh,
And at first, like it wasn't really that big of a deal. I mean, I'm using sound bits from what I assumed were free
yeah,
sound bits.
yeah.
And I guess my attention on some of the apps I've gotten more than others. So I
Okay.
was doing my whole media launch yesterday, and of course YouTube was my last one, and
Yeah.
it blocked me and sent me like 5 emails that I had violated some copyright something, um, and it's kind of just delayed my process again, trying to figure out not only how to present myself, but also how to make myself entertaining without the sound. I
Mhm.
mean, with the sound, I know a lot of people have their phones on mute, but um,
Yep.
I feel like now my business is missing that piece, and I'm not musically inclined at all, so I can't like make anything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just, it feels like I can't provide what I was
Mm.
providing, and what I was providing feels like I was doing something illegal now.
Yeah. I would definitely. So, my first question actually was going to ask you was, is it on YouTube? So, the thing that we're seeing across the board is YouTube is extremely strict when it comes to content, when it comes to copyright issues. They will not only flag your account, but if now or if within the future you're planning to monetize, they will actually shut your channel down from the ability to monetize your content in the future. The other thing to note of which is recent within like the past month or so, they're really cracking down on AI content. So,
Yeah.
YouTube specifically, anything to do with affiliate links, monetization, any sort of, just using those links or anything like that, sending people to outside web pages and everything, they'll actually block you from doing that if your content is 100% AI or if they perceive it to be 100% AI, which is really, interesting and everything. And I know we're seeing that especially in Instagram and everything. You'll see the little, notation at the top that it's AI info and everything. They'll call you out. So just something to be aware of. I don't know off the top of my head right now, but I know that there are resources out there to find music that is not, it's not going to fall within the copyright. So if you do, ask ChatGPT what those resources are. There's just different websites and everything that, smaller creators who are creating, that type of background music, that sort of stuff, they offer it for free under, that's not under copyright.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Yeah, I'll have to dive into that. Thank you.
Yeah, check that out. That might help. Cool, cool. Awesome. All right, next slide. Where are we at? Sorry, I'm moving the Zoom screen around because I can't say. Okay, overcoming fears with action, fear of not knowing what exactly to post. That's something that you see in real estate all the time, especially when you're a newer agent. Well, I don't want to go out there and talk to people because I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to my sphere. I don't know what to say to my database. I don't know what to say to a potential buyer or seller or anything. The good news is that every post presents an opportunity to learn what resonates with your audience. Okay. I always like to say, especially with our social media, just get something out there. Put it out there, launch, and then adjust. You're going to find and you're going to be able to track with your analytics what is actually working, what is driving the traffic, what is getting you the views, over time. So you'll be able to almost tell, what's being talked out, out there in the public and everything, what is getting people's attention and everything. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's consistency. And Dominic, to call you out again, your consistency with your videos is fantastic. Great job doing that and everything. Consistency is what is going to gain you the most traction over time with your social media. Gary Vee, I know Tim has talked about this and everything. He posts 1 million pieces of content a day over 800 different social media platforms and everything, which is kind of crazy and ridiculous. But that is what is working with the algorithm is consistency over time and everything. Start simple and share what you're excited about. Even if you don't have a current listing on the market, maybe right now, talk about, the listings that are out there. It doesn't have to be your own listing and everything. Just be careful how you word it. Make sure, you give the listing agent credit there. But, just, hey, guess what just came on the market? 123 Main Street, and talk about that property and everything. Fear of feeling exposed. So, like I said, there's definitely a big fear out there of being judged by, your peers, your friends, your family, just people out there and stuff. But the biggest thing to remember is people do business with the people that they know, they like, and they trust. We've said it 100 times over and over and over again. Just be your authentic self is really what it's all about. And I always tell new agents this, especially, and it's a good reminder for our experienced agents, you will be shocked at how many people actually really do want to help you in your business and want to support you. So just push past that fear, get the video out there and stuff. They want to see your face. They want to see, you out there and engaging with your database and your followers and everything. Fear that there will be a lack of engagement on your post. I've talked about this before, I think maybe last session or the session before in Breakthrough and everything. They're starting to see a shift within social media that it's not necessarily about the amount of likes or shares that a post gets. What they're seeing, most importantly, is the amount of views that a post gets. Think about when you're scrolling on TikTok or you're scrolling on Instagram, especially with videos. How many videos do you watch that you're like, oh, that was funny and it makes you laugh or you enjoy or anything, and you actually don't double tap to like it. You just kind of keep scrolling and everything. So it's kind of that mindset. Um, to be completely honest and completely blunt about it, just get over it. You know, if you post something and it doesn't get 100,000 likes, that's okay. Just keep going because you really have to focus on building up that algorithm to get more views. Alrighty, focus on what you can control, which is your actions, which we know. Okay, why social media use matters to our audience. It's the reach. You know, you're going to get a much greater reach and everything than, you know, marketing maybe just your database. So let's use a listing example. You know, when you're posting to social media, using those geo tags and everything, using Portsmouth, or maybe using New Hampshire or Rockingham County or whatever that looks like in the area that you have that listing in and everything. Getting that larger engagement and everything, getting that more eyes on the post, getting more attraction to whatever you're promoting. Like I said, if we're using the listing example, targeted advertising. So when you do use the paid posts through our command portal and everything, it will actually work with the algorithm with you, and it will ask you the questions as you're working through, you know, the steps 1 through 10 that it has you build out within command. It will say, like, where do you want to promote this? What area? What are the aspects of, you know, your audience that you want to target? I know that when you run paid ads through Instagram or Meta, technically itself, it will even ask you, you know, is there an age range that you are trying to target, which, you know, could potentially be helpful for you there. Your return on investment, and as well as like your engagement and everything. So, you know, when you're using social media, it just widens your audience, which is really great. YouTube is number one, which kind of, to be completely honest, still kind of surprises me a little bit. As you probably have seen, YouTube is not just long form content any longer. They do have YouTube Shorts, which are, I want to say, under 2 minutes or under 1 minute. I think it's 2 minutes. So it's kind of more of a TikTok format. So it's, you know, short form content and everything, but YouTube still is the king of that long form content and everything. Next is going to be your Facebook, followed by your Instagram. Pinterest actually still surprises me to this day, especially where it's outpacing TikTok, which is interesting. But Pinterest has changed a lot over the years. It's a lot more advertising than it ever has been. And then as you can kind of see, the rest of them, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Snapchat, all that good stuff. Okay, so boosting your lead gen, 4 ways to leverage social media. So here are your social media strategies. Number 1, post to social media, obviously. Number 2, run paid social ads. Number 3, interact with friends and followers. Number 4, add new friends. And we're going to dive into that. Okay, so number 1, it's going to be post to social media with actually AI. You are a social media copywriter for real estate agents. You will create 3 scroll stopping posts for whatever your target audience is here. Keep sentences under 20 words. Use active voice and plain English. Avoid hashtags and emojis. And here's your framework. This is your prompt for your chat or your Gemini, whatever you use and everything. So this is actually what you can copy and paste into your chat, into your Gemini and everything, and just enter, you know, your specific things here, you know, what you want, your hook, all that sort of stuff in there, what your target audience is, everything. So you can actually build out your social media posts using AI. So you don't have to sit there, you know, within Canva or within, you know, the Instagram app and everything and just say, well, what am I going to post here? What I do a lot of on social media is I use chat as a consultant. I will say, here are my goals. Here's what I'm thinking of. Come up with 10 ideas for social media posts for me to hit those goals. So I kind of work backwards from there. Here's your warning about using AI. We'll take a minute to pause here. Take it all in. We know the warnings. Yep. TCPA too. Don't forget about TCPA. That's still a thing. Okay. Number 1, post to social media using the like model. So the like model is local lockdown, information, know me, and engage in conversations. So your daily social media engagement plan, 10 reactions, 10 comments, 5 direct messages, 5 shared posts, 5 ads in 1 post. Okay. That sounds very overwhelming when you kind of just read it down like that. But think about the time that you spent scrolling throughout, Facebook, let's take as an example. How long would it take you to do 10 reactions? The thumbs up, the like. I don't know.
So
Maybe.
I'm always a little confused on this one.
Yeah.
First and foremost, is it every social platform that I have an account for that I'm doing this all for?
Here's my piece of advice for that. A lot of agents will ask me, well, I don't really use Instagram. Should I start an Instagram? No. There's nothing worse to see when an agent is advertising, talking about having in their listing packet, oh, check out my Instagram, but you haven't had an Instagram post since 1996. It drives me crazy. So Dominic, my advice to you is do this on your favorites, on the ones that you engage with most. You don't have to do them across all the board unless unless you want to.
Okay. And then the second half of that confusion is when we're doing reactions, when we're doing comments, when we're doing shared posts, I can, and I'm sure it will change when I start doing this more to apply to what your answer is probably going to be. But I always get stuck scrolling because I can't find anyone in my stream that I actually know or that I know lives in anywhere near New England. So are we trying to headhunt certain people, certain things to react to, comment, direct message? Or are we kind of just hoping to do a fast scroll and not really give any attention to any of those random ads and nonsense that we get stuck in scrolling through that give us our entertainment, and then start building that feed of actually people that we are engaging with or trying to react with?
Yep. Here's my hack for that, actually, because that would drive me crazy. I would go in and try and do this every single day. And I'm like, add. This person's in Oklahoma. Don't care about that. Add. Right. So it was just a waste of time is how it felt. Right. So if you can't do this on your mobile app. You have to do it on a computer. If you open up Facebook, on the left-hand side, I can send you instructions on this later with screenshots and stuff. On the left-hand side, there's a way. Go ahead, Jeff. What?
I just said, yeah, please. That would be helpful. Screenshots.
Yeah, I'll send it to everybody. Don't worry.
I think Tom and I are both driving. So.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I'll send it to both of you guys. So there's a way to kind of hack this, right? So it's on the left-hand side. I can't remember what it is, but it's like if you click on friends, you can actually create friend groups. Let's call it that. It's like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to send it to you guys later, right? If you add people to these friend groups, you can actually filter out your algorithm. You can post certain posts only to those people. For example, me in my life with what I do and everything, I have a group with all my real estate people. So when I'm posting things about Keller Williams specifically from my either personal Facebook page or my business page and everything, I'm posting it out only to the people in my real estate world through that, let's call it filter group, whatever you want to call it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I've seen that when I'm actually posting stuff, it'll ask me if I want to send this to like specific groups. So yeah, and it's definitely not available on your phone, and I understand why,
Yeah.
but that could be extremely helpful. And then of course, going into that group, you can then see all the stuff that those people are posting if you go into that group afterwards.
Yep.
Awesome, awesome. That's really
Yep.
cool.
I'm writing myself a note so I don't forget to send it to you guys. I'll do like a
I
one pager
almost
or something.
I almost don't use Facebook at all on my phone anymore. I use pretty much only the desktop platform because it's just so much easier for business
Yeah.
purposes. I've found.
It's huge
Yeah.
too, because if you notice on your phone, the 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 I don't know what it's called. What is on your computer as considered F12? What disappear, that full screen option to get rid of the bar on the top and the bar on the bottom. That same thing happens on your phone, and you immediately can no longer see your notifications, your
Yep.
profile, your messages, and it like disappears to almost get you sucked into the to whatever's in front of you. I've hesitated to do this next step that I'm going to mention. Mainly because I post from my phone so much. But there's a
Hmm.
lot of talk about removing social media from your phone so that way you don't
Yeah.
have that ability to access your phone
Hmm.
as a entertainment option. Your phone is your business, and then your computer is an extension of that, making it harder to scroll as a whole. But now that I know how much better this is actually utilized on the computer, I might actually take that jump and do that as well.
Yeah, what I find is Instagram is actually the opposite. So Instagram, if you go on to a desktop, there's a lot of settings that will say, nope, you can't find it here. You have to go on
It's
your
awful.
phone. But
It's
Yeah.
so bad.
yeah, but Facebook's the opposite, which is wild because it's the same company. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I mean I kind of found that hack very useful just cuz it saves me on a lot of time as well as, I love my friends dearly, but my friends are like, "Ashley, if you post one more thing about your real estate stuff, like we're going to unfriend you and we're not going to follow you anymore." Like so just knowing your audience and it's just, an easy hack so you're not scrolling through the BS.
Yeah, I love that.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. Local lockdown. So, we've talked about this a lot just in real estate in general. Do not throw up real estate on them. Do not, every single one of your posts should not be 123 Main Street, 458 Main Street, this. Make it a range of things. Like I said, people work with people they know, they like, and they trust. Okay. They want to get to know you and they want to get to know not only you, but your community and what you're out there doing and everything. So here's a couple, sample posts as well as topics like the history of your town or your area. I'm going to use Kate Grassi as an example right now. If you follow Kate Grassi on social media, this summer she's actually been doing I don't even know what to call it, like an ice cream bar crawl, I
Ice
guess,
cream
but
tour.
without the bar.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what it's called? I forget.
She, she's just like she's just doing ice cream shops. I don't think she necessarily named it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly. So
like a
what
tour
Kate
de ice
Grassi.
cream. Yeah.
Yeah, literally. It's awesome. So that's something that she's doing because it's also highlighting number one, local areas, small
Yeah.
businesses, and then you get to see her as a person and what she's doing. It's
Yeah.
been awesome to follow along.
And I don't know if it's happened yet. I've only seen one of them on my feed.
Yep.
But all of those businesses are going to start reposting all of the stuff that she's doing as she starts getting more traction. And
Yep.
next year when she does it again, so many more people are going to be able to respond and say, "Oh my god, I tried that place. It's so great. This, that, and the third." It's a phenomenal idea. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Because you get to see like a glimmer of like who she is as a person and everything. And it's not just her throwing up real estate on everybody, but she's still lead generating just a little bit of a different way. So, take a look at these, ideas and everything that are going to be also in your workbook on page. I don't know, might be 20, it's 23 for me. It's going to be around there somewhere for you guys. But school events or calendar, especially if, you are a parent. I will tell you this. My previous market center that I worked in, one of our top individual agents, she did zero traditional, we'll call it traditional lead gen, right? The only thing she did was she was the PTA mom of the year. She was so involved in her child's school, every school event, every fundraiser, every this. She was on the board of the school, like all the things and stuff. And that was her doing what she loved and being her. And all she would post to her Facebook, hey, guess what? We have this, we have this fundraiser coming up for school. Check this out and everything. People just started associating her with being the go-to person. So 99.9% of her business is all referral based and it all comes through that PTA. So again, be you. Find a way to lead generate, that fits in with who you are. And, when I first started as a real estate agent, I always use this example and everything. I am not a cold caller. That is my nightmare. I will never sit in a dark room and cold call all day long. My thing was open houses. I was the girl with the fresh cookies, with the candles and the balloons and the this and the that, doing the open house because I love to host parties. That's just who I am and everything. That was part of who I was. So, community service activities and everything. We see a lot of agents, I'm in Portsmouth today. So next door at Crossroads and everything. Volunteering at Crossroads, doing a post around that. This is how we're giving back to our communities. So don't throw up real estate on them on your social media is the point I'm making. So that's all about the local lowdown. Okay, examples of real estate content that provide information include market updates about your area. I will say this, when we're talking about numbers, okay, you cannot just go out there and post something to your social media that says, we have 472 new listings that came to market in New Hampshire this week. Talk about it. You need to give the consumer context, especially if it's maybe, someone who hasn't been in the market to purchase a home. They don't know. Is that good? Is that bad? Is that up? Is that down? Give context. So if you're making the video, there are 472 new listings that came to our market this week or whatever your stat is. That shows that year over year, we are up 5%. The housing market is going up. Give them context. Talk a little bit more. Or if it's a static post, write it in the caption. And always make sure to have that call to action. And the call to action, you'll see it abbreviated on the social media world as CTA, call to action. Asking your consumers to do something, to repost, asking them their opinion, their thoughts, to whatever it may be. Dominic?
I always struggle with going a little deeper. I seem to talk rather fast, and I use AI to create me my teleprompt so I can try to look a little more into the camera. And
Yep.
I'm still undershooting the time frame that it's giving me, and probably because I'm reading rather than just coming off the cuff. But I'm like a minute and 17 to a minute and 35 seconds on average in all my posts. And that's with like really no digging deeper into the stuff that I'm saying. And my curiosity is, I used to do Cash with Cavalieri before I got into real estate a few years back, and all my videos used to be 5 minutes long, and then I would post like 45-second cut ins and outs of all my stuff, and it really just didn't make sense what I was saying. So I was curious if you know of a platform that I could do a 3-minute, 4-minute, 5-minute, even a half-hour video that would accurately be able to suck out the subject and make it kind of streamlined for a minute, 30-second, 45-second, whatever it might be. So one, I could bring more of myself back into my videos rather than having AI make me talk. It makes me talk smarter, but it definitely doesn't feel like I'm talking. And I would also like to be able to use the same video more than once rather than keep recording the same messages and changing them a little bit and giving just different parts of that same video, getting you to come to my stuff with that call to action. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Jeff, do you have a thought? Did you unmute?
Yeah, I get a couple. Like I don't want to admit how many different programs I pay for, but I use Hicksfield, I use Riverside, and I use Opus Clips for most of my video stuff. Um, all of them have different benefits for certain situations. I pay for Pro on one, and then I'm like base level on the other two. But pound for pound, bang for your buck, as long as you're good at prompting and like telling Opus Clips how you want it to clip your videos, that's probably your best bet. It'll auto generate 10 to 15 clips off of one. You can tell
Oh,
it how long you want the clips. You can tell it to unclip it, no clips, just caption it, or clip it in this way. I want this cadence, these tempos. Like once it gets to know you, it's actually pretty good. But it's not completely. The only perfect way to do it is to do it by yourself on like Adobe Premiere or something like that. But as far as like AI, that's probably your best pound for pound.
I love it. Thank you very much.
That was going to be my recommendation, which is why I called Jeff out on that first. Because I know, Jeff, I know you use that. And I was also going to say, check in with Malachi, because I know he uses that as well.
Yep.
I use Opus Clip. I've had good success with that essentially. Especially when you're working with that long form clip and you're cutting it down. When you're working, just starting off with the short form clip, and you're working with chat to formulate, that script and everything, my suggestion is, actually prompting chat to, put it in the format of your hook, your content, your call to action, and asking chat, remove unnecessary words. And it's going to take out the fluff. And it's going to sound, at first a little but what we're seeing is that's what the consumer wants.
Yeah.
They want it. That's why the hook is so important right now. 3 seconds of attention.
I love that.
Like,
Thank
also,
you.
like, don't be afraid of a pause or like a silence either. Like those can be pretty powerful depending on what
Take
you're
a breath.
doing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like
I gotta tell myself
okay,
that all
like,
the time. Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
I'm usually out of breath by the time my video comes to an end.
Yep. Industry news. My only thought around that is depending what it is, just be careful. We learned this with the NAR settlement, just be careful on what you're putting out there, what you're saying, how you're talking about different things. Always try to keep it light, keep it positive, and ask yourself, like, does this really affect the consumer? Does the consumer really care about this and stuff? Because a lot of it, is more inside stuff, even like obviously if it's more about the market, mortgages, that sort of stuff. Yes, the consumer cares a lot.
Is the whole Zillow, the NAR settlement from 3 years ago, is that like common knowledge, or is it really more of an industry thing that we know about because it gets talked about so much more frequently?
I went through it live on the ground, and I will tell you this. The overall consumer kind of thought on it is out there that was happening all the time was realtors are a bunch of crooks. That was a lot of the talk at the time and everything. So a lot of agents tried to get out there and get ahead of it and really educate the consumer and stuff. But because it was such a hot button topic with a million lawsuits and everything, we just had to be very, intelligent and careful about how we went about it and what we said.
Fair
But
enough.
yeah, the consumer definitely did care.
like I've got a model built out like in Claude, so every morning it scrubs Inman, NAR, NHAR, and then like any other relevant real estate headlines, and it'll automatically just send it to me it basically analyzes it, gives me a script, gives me an infographic on it every morning. And I always like the key to ask it is always like, and you have to give me your sources. So it'll actually give me the sources that it used for that information. So I can just look at it real quick and be like, all right, that checks, that checks, that checks. I feel comfortable with that.
Oh, wow. That's really smart. I've seemed to have a lot of issues with AI doing stuff for me automatically. It works for a while, but as soon as I make any kind of change, the whole thing just kind of falls apart.
That's why I like
Dominic.
Claude personally. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Jeff.
I said that's why I like Claude, because you can build different projects and models, and then you can just like the co-work stuff, you can just design it in its one space. So like I have a co-work model for that infographic thing, and I literally just go in it and I type scrub every morning, and it just kicks out what I want. I don't even have to do anything.
I'm writing a note right here. Dominic, do you use Claude or Chat or a different one?
I use Gemini.
Gemini. Okay. Let me see if I can get something for that. Um, I have something I built out a project for myself that it's within the project section because I use chat and everything. And it's a whole sort of prompt that you actually upload into it. And it just gives me so much better results because it will, for every single time, no matter what it's doing, it will give me that source and everything. And it will actually talk in my voice. It's kind of creepy, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
I have a voice clone too. It's not that creepy.
I love it. I love it. Tips for buying and selling. I saw one actually, a new agent that I had recruited years back. I actually saw one the other day. She did a really, really cool video and stuff, and it was kind of fun. And I was like, oh, this is neat. I've never actually thought about this. She drove by her listing at I don't know, 7 a.m. And it was literally just her in the car with her phone driving by, taking, just that drive by, clip of her listing at like 7 a.m., 12 p.m., 5 p.m., 8 p.m. I don't know, whatever it was and stuff. And it was just like, here's a tip. Drive by, that house to see what it looks like, during different times of the day and everything. If you're a person who, maybe gardens and you want to know what the front lawn looks like or whatever, with the sun. And it was just like something fun, something a little bit different and stuff. So get creative with your tips for buying and selling, using AI also there, with your like, I don't know, they do all those staging sort of things, just fun, staging products. And it doesn't have to be on a specific listing. It could just be, staging on whatever, something totally made up, have chat create it for you. So get creative there. Top reasons your service is important. There is a course. It actually was born from the NAR settlement called Value Squared. If you have not taken Value Squared, definitely go to Connect after this call. Check out Value Squared. Pull the workbook. Last I checked, there's actually a video uploaded there of Gary Keller himself teaching the course. It talks all about what value do you bring to a seller, to a buyer, transaction, whatever it is. So you can get so clear about your value that you bring to, to a transaction. So top reasons your service is important. You should be able to honestly, top 5. Rattle that off, no problem. New listings or open houses. I think as agents, most of us do a really great job, promoting our new listings, open houses, all that sort of stuff. Client success stories or closings. I know this kind of can be awkward or painful for some of us, getting that review, or maybe getting that video testimonial from like the client and stuff. But I always say this, just like it will always shock you how many people want to help you and support you, especially your friends and your family, like in your business and stuff. It will actually shock you how many of your clients also want to support you. I had, my hairstylist the other day. She asked me, she's like, hey, I'm really embarrassed to ask you this. Would you mind just writing me a review? I'm trying to get better at that. And I was like, oh my God, you should have asked me a year ago. And she's like, oh my gosh, I was so afraid to ask you. And I'm like, I'm actually glad that you said that you're afraid to ask me because I learned something there. So, don't be afraid to ask. What's the worst that will happen? They say no. So cool. Market updates, inventory, the number of properties for sale within a market. This goes back to what I said before. Give the consumer context. Don't just do the static post of there are 1,342 million homes for sale in the state of New Hampshire. Is that up? Is that down? What does that mean for your buyer? What does that mean for your seller? Market type. Are we in a buyer's market? Are we in a balanced market? Or are we in a seller's market? How do you find that out? By your months of inventory. take the class with Nate. If you have not taken that class, we can get him back on the calendar to kind of talk through that, figure that out. Because what's the number one question usually sellers or buyers even ask? Oh, is it a good time to sell? Is it a good time to buy? Should I wait? All that sort of stuff. Cool. Interest rates and lender regulations. We have an amazing lender right down the hall. I'm looking at his office right now. Make a video with Brad. He's always happy to help, Or if you're like, I want to talk a lot more in my content about lending and everything, what the heck do I say? He'll give you some tips. He'll tell you exactly what to say. All that sort of stuff. Economic factors. This one's a little bit more sticky. Employment, unemployment rate in your market, all that sort of stuff. Gary Keller talks about GOP all the time. I will tell you this, 2 times a year, Gary steps on stage. It is at Mega Agent Camp as well as Family Reunion. And it's approximately, this is not a joke, I swear to God, it's like 3 hours, an entire State of the Company address. Yeah, State of the Company. I always mess it up. I always call it State of the Union address, but whatever, same thing. Gary gets on stage and he has 1 billion slides in front of him. He sits next to Ruben. Ruben, if you do not know, is our economist for Keller Williams International, our entire company. And he talks about, and he almost kind of dumbs it down. So you're like, oh, I get it. Okay, I see how this translates. Oh, I could make a video on this and educate my consumer. And it's all these amazing, amazing graphs year over year, plus what's coming next year. So it's their projections for next year as far as different things, like I said, employment, volume for house sales, unit for house sales, like all these different things. So you can find all that information on Connect. So if you go into Command, again, I know I've mentioned Connect 1,000 times this class, but it's a great resource. Gary gives you all of those graphs, number one, so you can actually steal them and post them, in your video or to your Facebook page, whatever it is, to talk about it, to make a video on it. Also, that video of Gary giving the State of the Company address and everything is in Connect as well. So you can actually watch it back, listen to what Gary has to say about it, and you can just pull exactly what he's saying, just repeat what he says and go from there. Just be careful when you're talking about economic factors, just as you would with market factors and everything. A lot of our consumers, when they're reading the headlines, they're reading national headlines. Every single day, I have conversations with agents about, I don't know if I want to get into real estate, or I don't know if I want to move forth with real estate because the market is so horrible, so terrible. They're reading national headlines. They're not reading local headlines. They're not reading New England. They're not reading New Hampshire, so on and so forth. So, just be careful when you're talking about that. NAR is your best resource, NHAR. Go to your local board first for your statistics on local market research, all that sort of stuff. And then, of course, MLS, you can pull your own stuff. Examples of personal content about you. Like I said, be you. Hobbies. Travels, books and music, gratitude, quotes and memes, holidays, posts about what you've learned or what you love about real estate. A cool thing to post that not many agents will do, but every once in a while I will see it. If you go to an amazing class, be like, hey, this is what I learned about in class, and it got me thinking about this, something that would translate to the consumer. So they can see that you are extremely involved in your business and you are doing work every single day. And you're not just, hanging out, waiting for a listing to come by or anything like that. And then again, going back to, hobbies, travel, all that sort of stuff, they want to know who you are. People work with people who they know, they like, and they trust. All right. Julianne, I'm not going to read the entire story to you. It's in your workbook. But Julianne found that posting about what she had learned and how much she enjoyed being a real estate agent was endearing to followers. So, Julianne's story is in The Rookie Real Estate Agent. Also, her story, the shortened version of that, let's say, is going to be in your workbook as well. Somewhere on page 27, 26, one of the pages. So and also if you have not gotten a copy of Rookie Real Estate Agent, definitely check that out. It's written by Jay Papasan, just a great resource to have. So people do care. People care that you are involved, in your real estate business. You're working on it every single day. You're very engaged in everything. And it's not like you're checked out for 6 months. All of a sudden you get a listing and you're like, oh, I'm a real estate agent again. So cool. All right, let me move this screen. Engage in conversation. Polls. Which do you prefer, modern farmhouse or mid-century modern? I love these because it just gets me thinking. You can post full polls to Instagram stories, maybe Instagram posts, like regular posts. Not 100% sure on that. Or questions. What's your favorite candy? Get your audience talking and engaging. But here's the thing. Here's the hack for this, right? At the end of the day, with all due respect, do you really truly care what everyone in your Facebook sphere's favorite candy is? Maybe yes, which is great, but maybe probably not, right? Here's what it does. It boosts that post. The algorithm will recognize it as getting a lot more engagement than maybe other posts and stuff. They're going to bring that post to other people's attention. It's going to help grow your algorithm. It's going to help boost you ahead of others. Competitions, guess when this home was built. Closest guess wins 2 movie tickets. You can do a giveaway, not do a giveaway, whatever you want to do. Tag a friend you'd share a latte with for a chance to win a coffee gift card. So what that's all about, is just growing your audience. So, to either get more followers if you're doing like a business page, or, if you are doing just your personal page to get friend requests and stuff. This or that, open floor plan or traditional rooms. Prediction. Do you think home prices here will rise or fall next year? I don't know how I feel about predictions sometimes. Depends what you're asking about. Sometimes the comments can get a little crazy, a little dicey. So just be a little careful with that one on what you're putting out there and everything. You do not want to create a bloodbath in the comments of your post. Yeah, it's going to boost your algorithm, but not for the right reasons. So here's some just ideas and everything. And hey, take all these, throw them into chat. Don't sit there and try and think, oh, what am I going to do for a poll this week? No, have chat do it. Give me 50 polls to ask my audience. My audience is first-time home buyers, whatever it may be. My goal is to whatever. The more information you give AI, the better, results you're going to get. Here's some more engaging in conversations. Caption this, photo of a tiny spiral staircase, fill in the blank. The one thing I wish my home had is behind the scenes, hot take, gas or electric stove, advice seeking, myth busting, all that sort of stuff, trivia. Cool. Oh, here's another little case study. Laura shifted her lead generation focus to hosting weekly giveaways on social media and discovered that offering experiences rather than just items generated the most powerful results. Laura can be found on the MREA podcast, and there's also a one-pager that goes along with that can be found on Connect in Command, and then her story also is in your workbook. Have you guys ever heard of a reverse bold giveaway before? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Reverse bold is a tactic. Perfect. Reverse bold is a tactic that agents do use and everything. Essentially what it is it's reverse lead generating. So what you do is it's a whole campaign for weeks ahead of time. And you say, I am giving away this, whatever your prize is. I've had people or agents give away, a weekend getaway. I've had agents give away a Blackstone grill, whatever it may be, whatever the prize is and everything, no matter how big or small or anything. You pick a day, you pick a time, and you say between the hours of 1 to 5 next Tuesday, you call me. I enter you in to win whatever the prize is. Number 1. Number 2, if you call me with a potential referral to help grow my business, someone, that you think I should be in relationship with or contact, whatever that looks like, then you get 2 tickets to win the raffle and everything. Okay. It's an opportunity, number one, to connect with your sphere, but number two, it's also an opportunity to, have real estate conversations. And then, of course, grow your sphere because people are going to, give you that name, that phone number of that person to reach out to. So, another fun giveaway thing. Okay. Generate posts using AI. Post ideas for local lowdown with AI. Give me 10 social media post ideas about interesting facts, hidden gems, and current events in Portsmouth. Listing upcoming events in Portsmouth. I could post about to connect with my community. So these are just some more prompts and everything for you to cut, copy, paste, throw into chat. If you can, maybe add a couple more sentences here, make it a little bit more specific, on what you want the post to do, the better your results are going to be. Post ideas for Know Me with AI. Give me 10 post ideas that help my audience get to know me as a real estate agent and a person. Suggest fun, relatable posts that share my daily life as an agent while staying authentic. There are some posts out there that I have seen, and I've seen people be very creative on the way they do it. It's kind of very, interesting to watch. And I know it sounds very influency, but a day in the life of Ashley, the real estate agent. But it actually is really cool, the way you go about it, because a lot of people don't know what real estate agents do all day. They think from 9 to 5 every single day, you're going in and out of houses, opening doors. Here's 123 Main Street. Do you want to put an offer on this? That's what they think your job is. So, just opening up your world behind the scenes, get to know me, what I do, whatever that looks like. It's kind of a cool post to do. What are 10 conversations starting social media post ideas for a real estate audience? Suggest open-ended question posts I can use to boost engagement with my followers. What I like about that one specifically is it's a prompt for AI that includes your goal. Boost engagement with my followers, which I love. Okay, prompts for caption ideas using AI. Don't sit there and be like, what do I write for the caption? Ask AI. Write 5 festive real estate related captions for holiday season, whatever you're looking at, tying it to home ownership or moving. Community spotlight with AI, generate captions highlighting, 123 Main Street area, neighborhood, whatever, that show my connection to the community. And your behind the scenes post, create 3 relatable captions for a photo of me working behind the scenes as a real estate agent. Keep them friendly and authentic. Always try and add, your tone of voice. Make it sound excited. Make it sound serious. Make it sound, more corporate, more business-like. Make it sound fun, whatever. Okay. Activity. I don't know if we're going to do the activity, but fill in the blanks with examples. Choose one to post with call to action. Include a quick visual. Put it all together in post. We're going to skip over, the activity right now, just because I know that half you guys are in the car right now and you don't have your workbooks and everything. But I will challenge you to this. Everything that we've talked about kind of thus far and stuff. If you can be in class all day long. You can take 1,000 pages of notes, but if it ends there, it was a waste of time, is really what it is. Education without implementation is pure entertainment, So taking what we talked about thus far, with all the AI prompts, all the different posts you could make, at the end of class today, before, we jump out of this and everything, just kind of picking 3 things, doesn't have to be crazy. Like, I'm going to run a paid ad. Start there. I'm going to create 50 social media posts that I'm going to post for the next 50 days or whatever it is, just taking action, coming up with a plan, writing it down. Okay. Run paid social ads. If you want to learn the specifics of running a social ad, KT Temple is kind of your best resource here, okay? He will walk you step by step through it. He will give you the resources if you're just kind of like, I don't really need a one-on-one. I just need more of like, how the heck do I do it? You know, give me that one pager so I can like really just follow it and just, you know, move forth with your paid ad. Paid ad, it lets you choose how much money you want to spend, how many people you want to like get the ad out. It gives you actually an estimation when you're, you know, towards like the final last couple steps and everything. They're like, hey, if you spend $1 on this, about 3 people are going to see it. If you spend $50 on this, about 1,800 people are going to see it, whatever it is. So you do have options there. And you also do have options, like I said in the beginning, to where, you know, that post is going to, you know, what you want your audience to look like as far as, you know, who gets to see your social ad. So posting on social media, help your followers see your post by engaging your SOI via social media ads. Target your posts with command. You can run ads that specifically target people in your database at a low cost. Use the Target My Database feature and campaigns in command. Target your database to stay top of mind and promote your business. You guys know all of that. But there is when you're, yeah, go ahead.
So you can, so like say, so I've got, I don't know, approximately 1,800 people in my database in command, right? So I
Yep.
could run an ad to like 700 of them and say, hey, I want to pick people with tags X, Y, and Z and push this ad to their social media that I have saved.
I will say this. I'm not
That
100%
would be
sure.
amazing if I could. That'd be wild.
Here's the thing. Double check, because I haven't checked in a while. They could have improved this. Last time I looked, you're either targeting your database or you're not targeting your database. And what I mean by that is you don't get to hand choose out of your 1,800 people, if that makes sense. It's either going to go to, Facebook's either going to do its best to get it out to those 1,800 people, or it's kind of not. I don't think you can hand choose which one, but I might be wrong. Double check. It's a great question for KT.
Sounds good.
Cool. Cool. Okay. Interact with friends and followers. Social media is supposed to be social. You know, if you just post and never engage with anyone else's content or never reply back to the comments that you're getting under your posts and everything, it can't be one-sided. This is also going to boost your algorithm and everything. Here's my other piece of advice. If someone comments and you want to comment underneath them, or if you are commenting underneath someone's post, write more than one word. Don't just write cool. You know, it's going to work that algorithm. If you're adding more words, if you're adding more, you know, it doesn't need to be an entire paragraph, but engage more than just one word and everything. Because what's going to happen with the more you engage with either your friends, or maybe they're not your friends, or maybe it's a business page, whatever, your content will be put in front of them more, is all I'm going to say. Okay, so commenting. When commenting on a friend's post or story, it's important to be genuine and show interest. Obviously. Reciprocally, you should always respond to comments from friends on your post. I mean, you guys, we know this, right? We know this. Like if someone says like, oh, Jeff, that's awesome. I love that listing. It's gorgeous, you know? Show them a little love, throw up a like, whatever you want, you know. Sending a direct message, or a DM as the kids call it, can also be a really valuable social media tool. Choose a few people a week to DM and ask about something they've recently posted, or just check in. This is an easy way to get your contacts in. I have agents all the time DM me their listings and they say, who do you know that would love this house? Who is in your sphere that is interested? Because of the role that I do, they also ask me, which one of your agents could potentially have a buyer for my listing, whatever it is, you know? So just, you know, that's a way to go about the DMs. Reacting and sharing in combination with commenting React with and share your followers' posts. While it seems like a small thing, you are putting yourself top of mind again when they get a notification. So sharing their posts as well. Like I said, social media cannot just be one way. It has to be both ways, going back and forth. So you can't always just say, like my post, share my post, like my post, share my post, if you are not doing that to others. Going back to Kate Grassi and what she's doing with her, I don't know, ice cream crawl, whatever I just named it, an hour ago. Engage with your, your local businesses, which is awesome. Maybe even door knock them. Hey, I'm a real estate agent in your area. I'm just really trying to get to know, local businesses, small businesses. Guess what? I'm a small local business myself. Great to meet you. Making those connections and everything. They're going to remember you. Especially, with Facebook specifically, you'll see them all the time, like Ashley Rowell, top fan of ABC ice cream stand or whatever. It gives you all those things and, it just boosts your content. Activity, like I said, we're not going to do the activity right now because half of you guys are driving, but interact with friends and followers. Choose 5 social media friends. Scroll a recent post from today or, the last few days and everything. Send a short and thoughtful DM. Record what you've learned in your CRM from their posts and stuff. Going back to that first thing that we kind of took a look at, 10 reactions, 10 comments, 5 direct messages, 5 shared posts, all of that sort of stuff. I actually took that and I added it as a task in my calendar every single day. So every single day I go on and I got to be real with y'all. Facebook is my least favorite out of all of them. I'm an Instagram girly, but here we go. I'm trying my best. I go onto Facebook and I do 10 reactions, 10 comments, to, people I'm friends with, to agents, to businesses, to this, to that and stuff. Make it a habit. The more you do it, the more you're like, oh, that was easy. Took me like, I don't know, it took me less than 5 minutes. Like it really wasn't too bad and stuff. So, maybe just trying to make that every other day. Doesn't have to be every day. So, and kind of take a look at your results. Uh-oh, I just went backwards. All right. Add new friends. Add people. Number 1, you already know, obviously. 2, from your database. 3, you meet in real life. 4, you interact with on local Facebook groups. 5, who are mutual connections. 6, local business accounts. I will tell you this, just make sure it's genuine. We see this a lot with lenders, at least 3 times a week, I get bombarded with lenders trying to friend request me, and I'm just like, hey, never met you. And sometimes I'll accept them and then that's it. They don't reach out to me. They don't say hi, nothing like that. I don't get an email. Like there's just nothing else out there. So, just trying to lead with value or anything like that. Don't be the weird Facebook pariah that just like sends out 1 million friend requests a day. It's kind of weird. So, I don't need to tell you guys that. You get it. Add new friends. That's all I got. Friend request other realtors. We've said this before. This industry, as big as it is, it's very small and stuff. So, get to know people from other brokerages, not just our brokerage here and stuff. Chances are you're going to be on a transaction with one of them one day.
So I will say,
Jeff.
I heard something that like on one of the Millionaire Real Estate podcasts.
Mhm.
I forget which one it was, but it was one of, she does Listing Lab, whoever the lady is that started that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like she made a point, like she actually makes a point to not be connected with certain people because it changes her audience. So like she'll go in and disconnect people who follow her who don't match her customer base.
Yep. 100%.
So I listened to that. I was like, huh. It's like, I want to like be friends with other realtors because I want to see what they're doing. And also, but also it's like, should I maybe not? Because I'm not trying to generate them as clients. So just a thought.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. That's something really great to like think about and stuff. Like I said, going back to having those different, friend groups within Facebook and stuff, to be completely honest with you guys, like there's days where I'm just like, I'm tired on a Saturday and I'm like, I don't want to see anything real estate when I'm scrolling. So it's like I can kind of toggle like to like different, sections of different friends and stuff, people who aren't in real estate, see what's going on in their life and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, the one thing we all know you cannot control is the algorithm, where your stuff is being pushed out to and what you're seeing kind of yourself. I know we do as much as we can, the more content we engage with, the stronger, that's going to feed into our algorithm. But yeah, she 100% makes a good point for that. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Daily social media plan. I jumped the gun on that, but like I said, add this as a task, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to see if you can start, interacting with other people's posts a little bit more. 80% personal, 20% business, and use the like model. Cool. 80% personal post ideas. Why I love real estate. Why I stay in real estate. What brought me to real estate? Daily routine, a day in the life of Ashley, the real estate agent, but make it cool, make it fun. Behind the scenes, bring them, I don't know, like, bring them to like, what is an inspection? What do they do at an inspection? Hey, I'm here at this house. I'm going to be meeting the inspector in 20 minutes, whatever it is, talk about the things that really aren't talked about in detail in real estate to educate your client. Favorite local small businesses. Kate's Ice Cream Hall, interact with them. Inspirational quotes. We all love one of those. Fun facts and trivia, holiday or seasonal posts. We all know those. Every real estate agent in the entire universe has to do a turn your clocks back post, which we all love. So 20% business post ideas. Local market updates. Provide contacts for your clients, for your consumers. Just listed, just sold announcements. I think we do a great job with that. Real estate mythbusters. What is something that is, just always assumed, by the general public that you can kind of educate your clients, your customers and stuff a little bit more on that. First time home buyer tips. Great one. I see that a lot, definitely. Home maintenance reminders, or home maintenance tips and stuff. Behind the scenes, we talked about that. Neighborhood spotlight, so getting really niche within your market. Client testimonials, ask for that, that review, that post, whatever they want to do, And the other thing, if you're not comfortable or maybe you just don't want to, if you do not want to ask for a review from your client at the end of the transaction, word it this way. And I know you guys have heard Tim say this 1,000 times. Hey, Brenda. So great transaction, close, congratulations, all the things, whatever and stuff. My goal this year is to help 50 families. Is there anyone else, that or that you have, on the top of your head or in your mind, that I could potentially reach out to? Or, give them a pass along, maybe business cards or your digital business card version of it, and just be like, hey, if you could just, tell me, let your friend know about me, all that sort of stuff, kind of that pay it forward aspect and everything. Open house announcement, another one I think most real estate agents do a really good job on that as well. Going back to yesterday with that open house, 7-step open house process and everything. Are we fully marketing our open house the way it technically should be? Not just the day before an open house. Oh, by the way, I have an open house. Stop by 11 to 1 tomorrow. Going deeper with that. Okay. Again, time block your social media. When are you going to do this? For me, with my social media, it's usually first thing in the morning. It's that task, first thing of the day. I have that task with those 5 different bullets that we just went over and stuff. Because to be completely honest with you, with my life and with usually the way my day goes and stuff, I'm in appointments all day long. If I don't do it first thing in the morning, it's usually not happening.
I was just going to say, like, I try to do 50 likes over all my platforms. And
yeah,
so it's like, I'm usually done with 50 likes, 15 to 20 comments, whatever else to that point, I'm usually done with it by the time I get out of bed.
Yeah.
It's really not that
hard.
difficult.
No, it's really not that hard and everything. And like I said, like just get it over with. Like it's not, it's not that bad. And for me, it's the same exact thing. Like I'm doing it first thing in the morning and stuff. Because if I don't, I'm telling you right now, I'm not doing it during appointments. Usually by 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, I'm fried. I'm done. Like stick a fork in me. My day's over. Like I don't have the mental capacity to, engage with all the social media posts and everything. Um, Morning MREA energy plan, afternoon, here's your open house plan, your prep, all that sort of stuff that we talked about yesterday with that process of, hosting an amazing, whatever they call it, open house, social media engagement, within like the afternoon and stuff. I will tell you this, a lot of times when I am doing it on the morning, I am commenting, I'm liking on posts from the day prior because obviously since it's first thing in the morning, most people haven't posted to social just yet. So that's one thing to keep in mind. If you want to post to social, number one, or, like, comment, do all the things kind of at the same time and everything, just know, like, if you're doing it at 7 o'clock in the morning, you're probably getting stuff from yesterday and you're probably going to be posting your post of the day at 7 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Metro Cool is a website, a resource, whatever you want to call it. There's a free version, there's a paid version. I use a paid version. It's $25 a month. And it is a post scheduler on crack. If you've ever heard of Hootsuite, me personally, I used Hootsuite for years. It's not my favorite. I just don't like the interface of it is really all it comes down to. So I switched over to MetroCool. So I do all of my post scheduling, all that sort of stuff a month in advance using MetroCool. MetroCool will tell you exactly what time to post to get the best engagement, the most engagement on your posts. You can run ads through them, all that sort of stuff.
How is it? How is that different from Hootsuite? Because I've used Hootsuite in the past, and then like I'm to the point where like I don't. I know everyone. A lot of people use Canva, but like I don't want to use Canva for that. So like I'm looking for a potential other option because like I'm starting to post more again than I can kind of handle on my own.
It is not different, to be completely honest with you. The last time I used Hoots, like I just don't like the layout. Like I can't even explain it. I just think that MetroCool for me is a little more user friendly.
So
That's all.
METRI, cool. That's like the little infinity sign for the icon.
METRICOOL. Yes, 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 yes. Yep.
Okay, cool. I'll look into that. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I wouldn't say like it's so much better, but for me and the way my brain, like, I just like the interface a lot better. That's all I got. I don't know.
Right about my signs. Do you want me to do it on your card?
Okay. Anyway. Okay, cool. More social media post ideas. Prompt, Instagram Reels ideas with AI. Act as an Instagram marketing expert for real estate agents and provide 10 Instagram Reel ideas. Here's your prompt for AI as far as, obviously Instagram Reels, TikTok, all the things. So I will say this, just cross post. If you're posting something, a reel, to Instagram, to Facebook, post it to TikTok, and vice versa, and everything. And you will actually be surprised because I've noticed this with mine. I have a TikTok video that has 40,000 views right now. And then when I go over to Instagram and it's an Instagram reel, I have about 1,500 views. So it's interesting how, it pushes it out to different platforms and how one does amazing on one platform and one doesn't do so great on another. But that's the algorithm for you. Activity, enter your accomplishments from the last 5 days of Breakthrough 120. Write down what you're most proud of achieving. I already kind of gave you, your homework for today, which essentially is pick 3 things out of today's class that you're going to move, forward with and everything as far as, what your action items are. Pick just 3 things. Doesn't have to be crazy. Could be the implementation of, that liking 10 posts a day, that sort of thing. Or it could be, maybe posting more video content, or, maybe using something from the like model and stuff. The rest of the stuff is just kind of really part 2, of breakthrough and stuff. So we'll skip over that. Yeah, this is really just, part 2 information from there. Just coming up with your social media plan, moving forward and everything. Like I said from the beginning, the name of the game with social media and with the algorithm, which we all know, no matter what industry you're in, is consistency. You got to be consistent, and that's how you're going to see better results and stuff. So that's a wrap for today, kids. Questions, comments, concerns, anything I can help you with today? Cool. I have my notes. Go ahead, Jeff. Yep.
I was going to say, it's not necessarily today, but I would love to set up a time and like kind of have you do like a social media audit for me on my stuff and just get some feedback if you're open to that.
100% happy to do it. I'm flipping back in my workbook right now because I have notes of emails I need to send you guys. I'm going to send you my Calendly. Yeah, that thing. Calendly link for you to jump on my calendar anytime. We'll just pick a time.
Awesome. Okay, sounds good.
Cool. Anything else? Anything else I can help you with? All right.
Good by me.
Cool.
Good session.
All right. Let's get out there and crush it, my friends. If you need anything at all, you know where to find me. Have an amazing day, and good to see y'all.
See ya.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Doing that, Tom.